Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, what am I going to be? Friendly bard, I guess, today, because today we're carrying on with our ongoing campaign, playing the Design Mechanisms excellent Mythras fantasy RPG, and we are playing our campaign, The Wolves of Gwig, in their setting of Mythic Britain. And with me today are the stars of our campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today. First up, we've got David.
Hi everyone, I'm David, and I'm playing Emrys ap Cain, Tresullian's best hunter and tracker.
Very nice. And joining him is James.
So I'm James, and I'm playing Brendan ap Cormac, a warrior, but also a Christian priest.
Very nice.
With Emrys.
And lapsed druid, I believe, too.
Yep.
No, nobody likes. I mean, Christ, I guess, likes a quitter, if that's the case. So, guys, this is chapter 3 of our Wolves of Gwig campaign. What do you guys recall having happened last time? Might have some visual aids here.
It started off in the home village.
Oh, did you lose?
And Morven approached me to join them on an adventure of sorts.
Right, yeah. So we lost you or I lost you at least for a moment there, David.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
So, yeah, so we started in Tresullian. Brendan and Morven recruited me to join them on this adventure that Macus, the druid, had sort of initiated, or a dream of his had brought him to the village, seeking the spiritual guidance of Cormac, but also the support of our lord, the Bedveer. And I decided I agreed to this. It will take us to a island that is renowned, or rumor has it that a powerful spirit dwells there. However, we're not the only ones setting off on a journey from the village, as some of those accompanying Macus the Druid have their own goals in mind and have recruited the other tracker and hunter in the village, Forza, to take him to Gwig against the wishes of his daughter. I think Morven was quite keen to go on this quest. We had a meeting with. But initially, it sounded like we might be sort of sneaking off in secret on this, but then we were all called to meet with Lord Bedweir, and Callan and Macus and others were there. And I think it's fair to say none of us are big fans of this Callan chap.
Yeah. I can't imagine why.
None of us in the broadest sense.
Yes. But we decided we were given permission to leave, but Macus would stay behind he would travel on to the capital.
Yeah, he'd be going back to
he
King Mark's
traveled
court.
with us.
Yeah.
Actually, travelled part way. Or would travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Lord Bedveer agreed that we could go on this mission, so we would travel to ultimately Carrick Luzenkos, via Cairn Bray, and we would briefly have Macus with us, and we would see what is up with this dream, and then sort of report back.
Yeah.
And anything more to it, or if it is a warning or an omen or something like that.
Yeah.
And yes, Gerard and Callan would go to Gwig with Forza in the meantime.
Yeah. And where is... I know Carador is on the map here. I just don't remember where. That was in the center here. Huh. Castle Tor, here we go. So this is where he had traveled from originally. It's only 22 feet away, guys. I mean, jeez. Hop, skip, and a jump. Yeah. Brendan, anything that you have to add to that?
No, well, we were part way heading down there, and we detected something untoward on the path ahead of us, so we jumped into cover.
Yeah.
And we saw 4 villains of some kind standing over corpses.
Mm-hmm.
So Emrys snuck around and shot one of them. Well, shot him in the knee. Full on Skyrim style.
Yeah.
And we then, myself and Morvin, came running up from the other direction and laid into them. So I think Morvin took down 2. I think Emrys got another, and I had one knocked to the ground and my sword at his throat.
So, one thing that I was thinking about afterwards, I was confused because the way that movement is handled in classic fantasy is actually different than what it is in Mythras core. Mythras classic fantasy does a lot of things to streamline some elements of Mythras, but the movement is one of the ways where it actually complicates it further. And like, you're limited by what actions you can take, by what your movement rate is. You have to determine your movement rate at the beginning of things. I'm kind of inclined to just say, like, if you're spending your action to move and you happen to have more action points than anyone else, then that just means you'll be able to move farther. If you guys are okay with that interpretation, then we'll just use that. You don't need to spend an action to engage in the game, and that kind of just means if you're a little bit close by and you're just going to get into melee combat, then you're able to do that. So it really only means that if you're devoting for you to like engage from a greater distance, that's when you're going to have to spend your action points in order to do that. But I'm not sure we need to adopt the classic fantasy thing of like, figure out what your movement rate is for the round, and then not that I don't mean to sound like I'm slandering it. It was a lot of fun, and it has some tactical consequence to it. But because we're probably going to be playing a lot of this with Theater of the Mind, I'm not sure we need to have a clear understanding of like, okay, you're only able to move 60 feet this round, so make your decisions on what things you're going to be doing. Are you guys okay with that, or would you like to? Yeah. Have them more codified.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. All right. As much as we can to have loosey-goosey rules in Mythras, this is about as far as it goes. So,
but there are still, I assume, another 9 subparagraphs to that simplification.
Not in this. It's not. It's surprising that when I was, because I've only the first thing I had run with this was the classic fantasy, and the classic fantasy movement rules. Everything else about that game really does seem to like streamline some stuff. Classes make like making characters a little faster, but the movement rules are oddly insistent on kind of recreating that declare your action before you take your turn thing that you get from AD&D, which it was trying to emulate, right? So, yeah. But I believe we ended on a cliffhanger, as it were. 3 these bandits bleeding out or dead, and Brendan, you standing over this final one.
Yep.
So, unless there's anything else we're missing from our summary, then we can pick up. Oh, nothing, David?
No, I think we just had a thought that we're like 1 hour outside of Treveru.
That's
it's
correct.
It's unusual that anyone would make a makeshift camp.
In particular, such a pathetic camp as what these have done here, right? So, yes, it is unusual that they would do that, and it is unusual that these people would set upon them. These people don't seem to have much of anything to take, so... But your sword is at this fellow's throat. Is he? Yeah, he's prone because he's got a purple dot on him.
Yeah, because I lobbed my spear at him, so he fell to the ground trying to get out of the way of it.
Oh, right. He dove for cover. Right. Okay. So then, why don't we, I believe that might have been where we ended the round. We don't roll initiative every round, do we? I don't
No. Don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because I think it was by, whatever it was, fourth action or whatever anyway.
Yeah, to run in. So then everyone, and we refresh action points at the start of the round or the start of your turn. If it's a continuing cycle, I imagine it's the start of your turn. But I may have that wrong. Let's see here. Cycles and turns. At the end of the cycle, once every participant has had their turn, if anyone has action points remaining, a new cycle has begun. This continues until all available action points have been expended, at which point the round is over and a new one begins. Okay. It's rolled at the start of a fight, and unless something changes the circumstances, it remains the same. Okay. So let's see about action point recovery, because that's something that's, when that happens, is consequential in a lot of those Zweihander games.
Yeah. On page 91, it says, once the combatant's action points are expanded, they may no longer act for the remainder of that round and must wait until their points reset at the beginning of the next.
Next round or next turn?
Next round is...
Round is the agnostic time that everyone shares. The turn is on yours. So at start of the
as written,
round.
It sounds like it's the round rather than the turn.
Yeah. Okay. Then, which makes sense that one of the things with it refreshing on turn as opposed to refreshing on round is that if you win the initiative, you just need to get through that first round of combat, then you're going to kick the fuck out of whoever is out of action points. So that I'm fine with. Everyone refreshes their action points. This fellow's on the ground. Emrys, you were up first. I believe you're still at range, right?
Yes, I'm still some distance away, so I will keep an arrow notched.
Okay. You had reloaded?
I think so, yes. I think I spent both of my actions reloading. And I think I will just keep an eye out, look around to see if these are the only four, or if they have any allies or anyone else.
Yeah.
On the road.
So I think, let's see if there's a seek action. There's the special effects. We have combat actions. If you want to do nothing, it's called dither. But I think... Let's see here. Outmaneuver. Brace. Assess situation. Here we go. Free. Oh, it's a free action. Why don't you give us a perception roll at... it's relatively wide open here, and it's only light rain coming down, so why don't we make it an average roll? I'm going to open up my GM screen as well. Nice. So as far as you can tell, like these four and their unfortunate victims, I think there were 6 of them. They are like nothing else on this lonely stretch of road has any other sign of travelers or anything like that. So that's as an action. Do you want to dither then, or could delay to have a reaction, and then basically if we get to the end of this first initiative pass and you haven't done anything, you just lose the action point.
Yeah, I'll delay in that case.
Okay.
In case he makes a runner or something.
Sure. So, and I don't know, you know what? I don't know if you can... Do you have to declare the action or not? So it doesn't... Oh, so whether... So you can do a reactive action at a later time, such as interrupt or parry. I'm seeing if you... I don't think you have to declare it. Oh, wait. So interrupt delays an opponent's turn after his declaration in order to take your own delayed turn. Assuming no change in the tactical situation, the opponent continues his turn after yours is completed. If unable to complete his original declaration, the opponent's action is wasted. And then there's a call-out box here. Delay is intended as a way of allowing a character to conserve all their action points in a round for reactive actions, for example, parrying. Interrupt, on the other hand, is intended to permit preemptive actions which could, but do not necessarily involve combat, such as slamming a door shut, knocking on a siege engine off target. It's worded to allow characters to intercept those that try and dodge or pass by them close. Neither delay nor interrupt are intended to be used as a way of gaining an action point advantage over a closing opponent, and it's not in the spirit of the rules to permit the withholding of actions until engagement has been initiated. Huh. So it's not intended that, like, if you're not engaged with somebody, I guess it's not supposed to be used to allow you to, like, wait until they're in and then use that action point to defend against them and then have your turn next, where you would have... That doesn't... Like, what is it used for? And, like, is it only when you're engaged? I'm not... What, do you guys have any insight into that? I'm confused by that.
No, it would seem to be the sort of thing that, you know, you hold to see how someone reacts, and if they do one thing, you shoot them, and if they don't, you don't.
Yeah, like, I think an easier... Like a way to mitigate, if the intent is to not give advantage over someone not in, like, that, surely that can be resolved by just declaring your action if X and Y. Are you guys okay with that house rule?
Yeah, this is, you know, also being round the corner, and I'll have my bow ready, and if someone comes
shoot it, they come around. Exactly. Yeah. So we'll just use it kind of like the way delays or ready to actions or whatnot are in other games. All right. So then, Emrys, so then you are ready to... you looked around for free, and then you got your ready to action, so you'll be able to dodge or defend in the event anyone does attack. Brandon, what are you doing?
Well, I will, with my sword pointed at him, say, "My God tells me that he takes vengeance. Repent your crimes here."
Okay, give us a give us a devotion check. Let's see here. Make a willpower check for him. Oof, you want to luck that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Maybe reroll that.
Okay, so it isn't so large of a success over him that you are, like, you're going to get a convert out of this necessarily, but he does look sort of confused at you. He does have a like a gauzy thing over his face, like a what you would think of as a bandit's mask or something. He says, they were dead anyway. They were dead or near as good. They've got the flux. That's all he's done. So he has effectively dithered one of his actions as well. Amaris?
Is the members will know what the flux is, or if he hears that as a sort of, is it a common thing? Is it?
He's probably referencing some kind of illness that's making its way through. Although, you know, as far as I know, you've heard nothing. Is it? Right. There's no fucking skill list on the screen.
Local.
Yeah, I'd buy that. Why don't you make it at? Let me get it easy. You do talk to people coming in because you're selling skins and whatnot to the folks who do come by. Hey. Neither of you have heard anything about this. What would it? Although that is typically something that does, you know, it either sort of, I would think it would have like an inverse relationship to how bad things are. If it's quite bad, you're probably not going to hear about it because people are getting sick and not able to make the travel. If it's passing sickness, then people can come and either people will, for one, be healthy enough to travel and also like probably unwilling to share because they don't want to be left out of the community. If you're coming, hey, I just came from Plague Town. Can I come in? What about action, Emrys?
I think he'll actually step. He'll walk up to where Brendan is, so that he's closer.
Okay. Brendan. This guy's not going to fight anymore, so we can actually drop out of combat if we want.
So drop your weapon and let us. We will take you to the Lord for his thoughts.
He casts it down, and he says, "They were dead anyway. Near as good."
You were just picking their bones, then.
And you can see from at a glance, Brendan, like there is fresh blood. Like their hearts were beating when they slew them. But seeing these people up close, they do look quite ill as well. But these are living souls that were slain. So one thing I was looking at after our last session too, I was thinking about what you do with.
I would think I would tie him up and would lead him to the nearby Lord.
Yeah, and when assessing, having effectively a trial before a lord, a priest ranks particularly high in the ranking of evidence, whose evidence is preferred. The ranking of witnesses is from most influential to the least is a lord, a druid, a priest, a father speaking for his children, a magistrate, a gift-giving speaker of or for the gift he has made, a maiden speaking of or for her purity, a herder speaking of or for his animals, and then finally a condemned man speaking his last words. That puts you at 3, Brendan, as far as the deference given to your evidence over competing evidence. Mm-hmm. So, what the others, I think, are either too far, injured or, past the point of, or shuffled off the mortal coil already. So we'll assume this is the only survivor, but it does leave you with the bodies of 3 bandits or opportunists, as well as 6 injured or 6 dead seemingly sick people. What do you guys wish to do?
I think we should have this man dig a shallow grave for those who have died.
Agreed.
That can be the start of his repentance.
Okay. We'll give a name to this fella. His name is Duffy. So he gets up and he gestures at his friends and he says, and for them.
You bury them as well. All souls.
Satisfied with that. He wasn't sure if you were leaving them for the crows or not. So this is going to take hours to get this done. So it means that you will likely be arriving fairly late. I think Macus, because he's with you, he will look down and would you guys... Actually, let me take a look here. I'll use stats of somebody else here. Here we go. Would you give us a, Brendan, just a flat percentile roll, please? Ooh. Okay. So Macus looks down at the bodies of the sick and says, there are signs of illness here. This was not widespread when we came through. Although, actually, I think they came directly over land. That's why Morven ran into them, so they may have not come through here.
Very strange, Marcus. So you've heard nothing? You'd seen nothing before, but you've
we bypassed Treveru when coming, so we did not see. We'd heard of the troubles of Lord Reagan. He and his cousin. His cousin, Sheridan, contests his fitness as Lord. I've known that. But even with troubles on Lord Reagan's head, why... Things grown so bad that they forced these unfortunates to the outskirts and to rely on begging. I thought that Treveru had not fallen on such hard times.
There's a lack of justice here all round. There's people driven out and then attacked. You agree, Marcus? their deaths were caused by swords.
Aye, indeed. And you see he's sort of closing the eyes of some. Karnawi is no place for children. And he looks up. He says, the weather seems not to be growing fairer. Should I carry on ahead?
Hold them up. We'll just get them briefly covered, enough to keep predators off. We can tell the next settlement where they are. Does not need to be permanent.
So the guy is kind of digging. And he says, wait, so not deep then?
Not deep. You can use those rocks to cover. Get a scrape in there. And enough to cover them.
All right. So he begins kind of dragging them over. He's going to try and drag them all into one pile. Are you okay with that? Or are you forcing him to have the...
We'll have two.
Bandits. Okay.
Yeah, two.
There's deep sighs from Duffy, and then he agrees to or complies with what you've asked him to do. Marcus says, what brought you to this? Why set up on these? They've nothing. And he says, they've food. It's hard enough to come by. And with Sheridan and Reagan fighting, both competing for providing greater assistance, neither's worth throwing in on. So we make do until that has settled.
Are you that hungry that you'd commit such crimes?
What crimes? They were dead anyway. They've no use for it. We are hurrying them along to an inevitable destination. He continues bringing them on. Marcus sits down and he says, stealing remains stealing. It has been a long morning. And I find that one recovers best when watching others work.
It is quite refreshing.
So Marcus will wait while Duffy is completing the task you've put him to. Anything you guys wish to do? You try and whisper.
What are the rules for recovering ammo?
Oh, I can't remember if it's in this or in Classic Fantasy, but there are rules for arrow breakage. Let's see here. If it's not in this, I'll just go grab... Classic Fantasy might be in here, actually. Then I'll grab Classic Fantasy. I know there are rules for it in that. Let's see. Close combat... Range combat. Firing into crowd. Let's see. It's not here. Let me grab C-App and I'll be right back.
Probably an extended task.
Yeah. So who will say a prayer for these people, you or Marcus? Both.
No, that's a very good point. Both, I guess.
Okay, found it. Sorry, I wanted to make sure it was in the book I was thinking of. As soon as I stepped away, I'm like, am I thinking of Dark Eye? I think Dark Eye has rules for that as well. Okay, so after the battle, the original owner of the ammunition makes a perception roll, and the degrees of success determines the amount of amount recovered as follows. A fumble, you get 25% back, rounded down, I believe. Failure, 50%. Success, 75. Critical, 100. And I think it is an average roll. Yeah.
Okay.
A second character can assist the first in searching, which follows the rules for augmenting skills. And a separate roll should be made for each kind of ammunition. So if you're intending on also making use of like a Barrett sniper rifle, just remember your bullets are going to be separate from your arrows. So give us a perception check at average, I guess. Please. Nice. Very near. So 75% rounded down.
Okay, excellent.
Okay. Then, anything you guys wish to discuss or deal with while Duffy is seeing to his task?
Emrys did just ask who would do the rites, whether Brandon or Mythras or both. He's interested in how these two will be up in case anyone were to say any words or...
And Macus looks up at you, Brendan.
Well, I don't think we know necessarily the beliefs of the victims. So, Macus, shall we both do it, to be sure? And you, Duffy, what do you people... what did your friends believe?
He says, we follow the old ways.
Then, Macus, I leave it to you.
Okay. So
My God
Macus
will judge them nonetheless.
All right. Then, yeah, he will... I'm looking at the rights for that. I saw something about burial rites in the culture chapter. I thought I did. Trial by combat. Typical crimes and punishments. Here we go. Murder, exile, and payment for blood price for nobles. As for... over nobles, ice, and freemen. Death for churls and outcasts. Yeah, so this guy's likely going to get killed by the Lord. Celts do not place any faith in their gods to provide them with a happy afterlife. Death is a natural part of the cycle of life, and every Briton knows that death is never far away. Death is not spoken of in hushed tones. It is discussed matter-of-factly and without sentiment. Every Briton wants a death that is both clean and honest. That is, a death that would not bring shame on the tribe or the individual. Dying in battle, sword in hand, surrounded by the bodies of the enemy is a good and honest death. Being executed after capture, pleading for one's life, is exactly the opposite. Dying while behaving with honor is the way every Briton wants to die and have no fear of it. But dying pitifully, weakly, or either denying honor or having it denied to them shames the soul in the tribe. Similarly, when dealing death, Celts tend towards offering it clean and honestly. If a foe fights well and honorably, a fast, cleanly delivered death is an honorable thing to do. A clean death is delivered, blah, 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 blah. So where's the... I don't see anything about burial customs, though. In any event, they are laid in the earth. Whatever words that Macus feels need be said are said. I think he would likely reference the benefit of the doubt, suggesting that like an empty belly can drive men to desperation. And Duffy seems to nod, in agreement along with that. What Duffy would likely tell you as well, if you do chatter with him whatsoever, is that, like, there's no question that they would have been dead. The reason he's not panicking about, this is he doesn't blame you for murdering his kin. They knew they were, what they were doing, but he feels that he will be exonerated, not exonerated by the Lord, but like the Lord will not put him to death. That is the reason he is not fleeing or fighting to the death on this.
Mm-hmm. And that's as maybe. I think you'll find my lord thinks otherwise, but that will come to you in time. And in the meantime, we will check with it. We will take you to the lord of this land. And as you say, we'll listen to his judgment.
Where do you come from?
And I will go to us. We come from Tresillian.
You,
Lord Bedwyr ap Teig.
Has the flux not come to you then?
Nay, lad.
When it does, perhaps you'll be less discerning. What business have you in Treveru then? Is it with Lord Reagan, or do you seek Lord Sheridan's favor?
Lad, you talk too much.
He nods. I've been told before, and continues working. If you seek Lord Sheridan's favor, he has been dealing with the sick more generously. Those afflicted. And he favors your faith as well. He's taken the Eastern God. And it is those of your faith who minister to the sick. He looks back. He should truly be Lord here too. If you brought me to him, you may find favor with him.
Macus, he sounds a good man.
Macus shakes his head and says, Lord Reagan holds to the old ways, and so seeking approval of the people, his cousin takes up with the new faith. I think his heart would be true to the old ways, would that the druids stood with him. And Duffy says, that's slander, monk, or druid.
Ah, you're a cynical man, Macus. A cynical man.
He shrugs. Not all have as pure intentions as yours, Brendan, in finding the new faith. But what that one says is not wrong. What is it you wish of there? Do you wish to take up residence for the evening with Lord Reagan and then carry on? Or if you are bringing this one, you will have to present him somewhere. Lord Reagan is the Lord recognized by the king.
Then Emrys, Marcus, I think we need to go to the Lord Tegan. Get there before the sun goes down. You agree?
As the rightful lord, and we are traveling under the blessing of the king, right? When I think Emrys would ask Duffy when he says they're fighting. As in, are there clashes in the field? Or have they raised arms against each other? Or is it more of a political standoff at the moment?
Marcus says, "No, I've seen they fight for the goodwill of the people at present, or so I've heard. If the flux has come to Treveru, and if your church, Brendan, is supporting them in times of sickness, any offer of aid may be viewed as favorable by those who are ruled. Sentiment may go to Sheridan. Both had similar claims, and in spite of the king's favor, the lands remain of Treveru remain the lord's. I have not been, and I mean, casting people out who are sick is not necessarily, depending on the illness, it's not necessarily a crazy response or a cruel response. Particularly, remember, Treveru is a larger community than what your hometown would be. So it's not a matter of a couple people who you just need to care for. There's a much more significant population, and sickness can fucking cut through a community, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So if Lord Reagan has dictated that those who are sick must exile until well, it's not necessarily an unreasonable response. Though I think caring for the sick is something that your faith would see as very Christ-like.
Indeed.
So Duffy has almost completed his work. The sun is getting lower in the sky. Duffy seems to push for Sheridan once again. I'm telling you, Christian, you should bring me to your fellow faith. They will understand. Mine was an act of mercy. And you need not make a roll for, obviously, he's fucking, like, not lying necessarily, but he is definitely trying to frame it in a...
He doesn't know when to hush his mouth.
Yeah.
Let's... Marcus, we're all agreed. Let's head off.
David, did we lose you in the call too, or just in Roll20?
No, I think I'm still here.
Okay, yeah. So you're we lost your camera there for a moment.
Yeah, I've been losing other people's cameras on and off. It's sort of popping in and out.
Shame. We had like flawless camera days for the last 2 days, so of course we're having problems again today. All right, then I shouldn't say flaws. We had a couple resets, but I think those were players sided, not Roll20 automatically resetting the cameras the way it has been the last few weeks. What do you wish to do as far as securing Duffy, then, is concerned?
Bind his hands behind his back.
Indeed.
Okay. And I'm going to take a look here. He may be trying to free himself as well. Yeah. The only complaint I have about the GM screen, which is very comprehensive, is give us a fucking skill list. So if you're having your skill, or if, in the alternative, you're not going to do that, put your fucking skill character sheet at the end of your book. Because the bloody skills for Mythic Britain are different than what they are in base. And there's not like a character sheet in Mythic Britain. Ugh. Damn. Then, take a look. At least the character sheet for Mythras is at the end. What do you think here? I want you to roll something and I'll give you the advantage on this for trussing this fella up. What are you thinking as far as skills are concerned? Just straight brawn, or
Is it?
You're
thinking straight dex or something like that. If Emrys is any good at that, I'm not.
Well, I mean, it would be by way of a skill for sure. Do you have a professional skill?
Hunter or survival. Used to doing knots and.
A hunter for sure. I can see like that's you're having to truss up larger prey sometimes to be able to carry them back on a.
Yeah, if you want to go with that, then Emrys.
Yep, and because you are going to be in the favorable position for this, I'll let you increase the. Not going to be average. You'll be rolling it easy. He'll be rolling it average.
Okay. Again.
Nice. Okay. And I believe, is it high roll without going over? When it's not, when it's within the same, when it's not like critical versus.
It's always a good rule, that one, but well, let's see, opposed rolls. Let's have a go.
Because that sort of favors the circumstances and high skill over, post skills hero. Highest dice roll within the success range. Yeah. So we both got base successes. You rolled much better, Emrys, so he is not getting out. Oh. Careful, lad. Leave the justice to the Lord, not to take it on yourself. And Macus would just say, enough from you, Duffy. Justice awaits. Then, we'll leave you guys, and you'll be making...
Head him up, and I'll keep him going, poking him with my spear if necessary. If he drags his feet.
No, he'll make his... now that you've taken him, he does keep jawing of trying to convince you to take him to Sheridan instead of to Lord Reagan. But he's not going to make attempt to make a run for it or otherwise trying to escape. I'm just trying to find. Gotcha. Is it village? So for Treveru, don't really have something that's going to quite fit for this. Although, I've got do one quick search here. I've got something that might be reflective of a bigger community. Let's see. I have a lot of horrific looking downtowns that are set up in here, guys. Oh, here we go. So this may be a little ahistoric, but not, and maybe a little more Saxony than appropriate, but at least it'll give us an idea of a more bustling community. And then let's put you guys down here. So let's use this. Welcome, guys, to Trevero. So, making your way in with both Macus and Duffy in tow, there is definitely some attention you're getting as you're coming in. There does appear to be as you're approaching this place, there does appear to be a guard, which is a little unusual for these kinds of communities. And as you're making your way over, one of the warriors in service to Lord Reagan would call out, "Hey, who are you? Where do you hail from, and what's your business?"
This is Brendan ap Cormac and Imris ap Kane on the King's business, escorting the good druid Macus.
King's business? All right. You should know the flux has taken some in Trevero. You enter under your own, with fair warning. Who's that you have there? The guy calls out, "It's Duffy." And he says, "You? Well, bring him in." And he the guard turns back to you two. What's he done then? You catch him thieving?
He killed some sick travelers and then was robbing their corpses after.
The look on his face tells you that this guy does not... Whatever... I'm not sure how you were feeling about Duffy's explanation. Does not seem like this guy would be approving of that, just helping people along. He says, "I bring him in."
Women and children, no less.
Have you been presented to Lord Reagan before?
I have not.
Well,
nope.
Make your way to the Longhouse and present yourself there. Take care. And take care that you do not get this Flux does not claim you too. And the three of you make your way through, and the city it really is just like a larger version of where you guys were, but where your hometown is. I imagine you've been here. Brendan certainly has been here before. Emrys, is this your first time to Trevero?
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be.
Okay.
He's been quite focused on Tresullian and the sort of immediate surroundings. I don't think it's necessarily been.
So it's definitely, yeah, like it's bigger, but it has a bit more of a modest quality to it. Like perhaps you didn't quite realize the riches that came to your community thanks to the silversmith family that is there. So this is a little more modest, if more sprawling, but you also see that it is ill kept. Like the buildings, there's roofs that clearly, are a season off from having maintenance done to them. There are clearly fields, and not like fields, but like, gardens that are not well tended, either with overgrown roots or, vegetables that are clearly, being preyed upon by scavengers or rodents that should have been picked. Brendan, I think you're more well-traveled. It has the look of a place that either has seen people lost from conflict or people lost to sickness. There are clearly things that were maintained at one point that are not right now. So as
off
you...
the guard, I'll say. So you seem hard hit.
And he says...
I'm sure you look after your town better than this normally.
Aye, indeed. This is kind of you to see what was, not what is. The flux has hit quite hard. Are the unfortunates that you saw set upon. Sadly, the Lord has dictated that those in the grip of the flux must leave. There is the Lord's cousin has a hostel set up not far near a creek where the sick are being tended, though some refuse even that offer. Did you see, he looks at and sees, and gestures at your cross. You're a Christian then?
I am.
The bodies of the slain, are they still there?
We gave them what rights we could. I'll describe where it is.
This is good.
2 leagues down the road, if anybody can ever go out to retrieve them later. Or give them more formal rights.
Yeah, I think Macus will say that, he says, I can delay my travels for a day. I can show you where the bodies are, son. And he says, good. Though outcast, they are still kin. And deserve better than for this animal. And he kind of kicks Duffy. He's like, hey! To have preyed upon them. Duffy says, things would have been better with Sheridan. You still can turn me. Brandon, Emrys, see reason. Bring me to the rightful. And before you can say anything else, the butt of the spear for the guard is going to go right into the lower back of this guy. And whatever he was trying to plead with you to do is completely ended. And he stumbles forward, cursing this guy. He says,
get your earthly justice here, Duffy.
And Thessalian, how fares things for you? The flux has not reached you.
Fortunately, not yet. How long have you suffered from this?
Oh, but a month. But it came fast and fierce.
Shocking indeed.
One of the first claimed in his sleep was our druid. And Macus looks over and he says, Varden was taken by it. And he says, you heard of him? And Macus nods. He says, in passing, he was taken first. He nods. We are without the counsel of a druid. Macus says, oh. The druid was taken first. And now you find yourself without means of combating this flux. Macus spares you a little bit of a look, Brendan.
What is it that preys on your mind, Macus? It's unusual, no? That a druid fall sick first? Normally, with his knowledge, you'd expect him to fare well.
He looks at the guard once again. He says, had he traveled? No. Though he speaks, whatever, he was well known around Treveru. those who throw in with Sheridan claim that it is a sign of the favor of their god, that Sheridan's supporters are provided succor by those of the new faith, while our druid was claimed first. Macus looks up at you once again, Brendan, and gives kind of a
Nah. Sickness is a curse on the faithful of my god, and not. I don't hold with that belief myself.
Aye. He seems relieved to hear that, but you can tell Macus is stewing a bit. He brings you up to the longhouse, and would you each give us a perception check, please? And this will be at average. I just rolled a critical fail for the contested. Okay, so you both beat me. Amorous, in keeping with sort of your keen eyes, you've got the greatest degree of success. It appears that there is a youngish man, like a guy who's probably maybe your age, a little older, so old enough to be a warrior and whatnot, not someone who would be considered a child any longer, but certainly not someone who really is like a grown man necessarily either. He seems to be following you from the point. It's not like from the first time you got into the village, but there's definitely someone who is kind of went stumbling along and caught up to you. I think perhaps the attention drew. He may have been running to try and catch up to follow you, escorting Duffy, and kicked over something that drew your attention. Again, I rolled a critical fail on mine. So you spotted him without having seen him realizing that you were watching. But he seems to sneak over to the side of one of the roundhouses and kind of like trying to shadow along behind you without letting you in on things. But you can tell that he is following. And Brendan, after a time, likewise, you can tell that there is someone who is particularly interested in following you, but trying to remain concealed. You're obviously, if you've got a guy lashed up who looks like he's got blood on him, it's not his blood, but his, I imagine there's some spray from his fellows that would have got on him. He's also filthy from having dug, 2 graves. You're getting attention from a lot of people in town, but nobody's trying to hide that they are doing this except for this one fella.
Does he look armed?
I mean, he's got a knife on him, but I mean, so does, he doesn't have armor on. He doesn't have a weapon with him. He seems trying to follow and listen in or, see where you're going. He's just doing an absolute terrible job of doing so.
Without turning towards the chap, but when Emery sees that Brendan has sort of spotted him as well, he'll just, still like facing towards the long house. I would just say, one of your congregation, Brendan?
Never seen him in my life. I'll ask the guard.
The guard's name will be Galvin.
So Galvin, we seem to be getting some sneaky attention. Do you know that lad behind us in there? And I'll try and give him a swift description.
Yeah, and we'll give him he'll roll with one higher grade. So when he stops and kind of looks back, he says, which boy? And if you're looking now, Brendan, you're not able to see where he's gone. Emrys, it also appears that he's gone to your eyes as well. You may have seen the the guard, Galvin, just may have been a little obvious in turning around.
Don't turn around.
And
I will try and describe him in more detail to Galvin on the off chance he recognizes him. But I guess in a bigger settlement like this.
And he says, "Oh, aye. That would be Curwin. Curwin ap Neil. He's one of Sheridan's men."
And you let them in here? They're intriguing.
He looks and he says, "You've heard of the rivalry then?"
Aye, this Duffy wouldn't shut up about it.
He turns around about to, plea for the merits of Sheridan once again, and then makes eye contact with Galvin and thinks wiser of it, puts his head back down and continues walking. What Galvin would tell you is that things are... The people of Treveru made their decision. Their lot was thrown in with Lord Reagan. Lord Reagan is who was favored by the previous Lord as well, so he has been favored by them. Sheridan is... He feels that he should have been there. Whether he's positioning himself to be the obvious successor should Reagan die, or whether it would actually come to a feud. We're a long ways off from a feud still. So, but it is pretty obvious that to the community that Sheridan is trying to position himself as the people's favorite, as it were. And in light of the coming of the flux, it is definitely helping Sheridan. The Christians who have come are doing more to aid those who are stricken by this flux than what the Lord is able to do, particularly with the passing of the Druid.
Does the feud predate the flux, or does the flux predate the feud?
The feud goes back long. Sheridan and Lord Reagan have but 6 years, 6 summers between them. This is not a matter of an old man that one needs to wait out. Circumstances would need to conspire for Lord Reagan to die before Sheridan can claim the lordship of Treveru. He looks over. Has that brought you here? Or had you other matters?
We were just passing through.
The king's business? Well, anything else you guys wish to discuss with Galvin before you reach the actual long haul?
Yeah, Emrys would ask what the general symptoms of the flux are.
And he'll give you I think that it's the what we would recognize as kind of like influenza. So it would be something with rashes, with fevers, and being around those with the flux is what helps to transmit it. It's unseasonable as well, because this is summer. Notwithstanding the illustration. So I was joking about that
I was
fallout.
surprised you just go on about the flux when you've got all the snow on the ground in midsummer.
An imperfect illustration. Anything else that you would want to ask about on your walk with Galvin?
No, well, does he? Is there anywhere where such visitors as ourselves could bed down for the night after we have greeted your lord?
Well, he looks and looks kind of surprised. He says, Lord Reagan, things are not so hard up here that he will not welcome strangers, particularly those on the king's business here.
That was fine to hear from. And how is the Lord himself these days? In good health, I hope?
Indeed. Fortune favors us such that the Flux has not claimed him. But why don't you give us a... Let's see here, because I'm going to see how forthright this guy is. He's happy to talk about generalities, I think, without any kind of prompting, but and I'm going to randomly determine this guy's faith, because you may be able to use your devotion to support the role.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he does favor the old faith, so you will not. That'll be barking up the wrong tree, as it were. What do we think? Persuasion? What is it called?
Insight? Influence?
Influence, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, unless you've got a professional skill you think of. I think influence is probably... It's not going to be contested. He's not resisting it or anything. It'll just be...
Yeah, I've got oratory, but that's really for groups.
And I think I'll you know what? Make it one. Heighten it by one. Because you have said you're on the king's business, so, you know, you're not just any yahoos.
So let's try influence.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful. So he looks back at you, and forgive me, what was your question again? I want to make sure I give you a...
Oh, I was just asking if the king was in good health, and it's quite innocuous.
So he would look back at you. He would look at the Duffy. So because he doesn't want him to overhear, he may slow his stride just a little bit to come back to you, and he says, I'll tell you, friend, the troubles weigh heavily on him. The suffering of Treveru and the persistent hacking by Sheridan. Our Lord's mind goes to dark places.
And we must see if we can raise his spirits.
It would be a welcome result, and if you are to judge our Lord, I'd ask, bear in mind the weight of what he carries, and that his cousin holds his allegiance to your faith as a way of dividing the people's support of our Lord.
Indeed. So is his worry for his own position, or for the condition of his people?
Once again, he kind of looks forward to make sure that Duffy doesn't overhear this, and he says, Sheridan is a rogue. They have known one another since childhood. He knows the character of his cousin. In these dark times, a man such as that, as Lord, would be a misfortune for our people. The Lord knows so.
It is at these times that a good Lord shines.
Indeed. So I hear of yours. I've heard naught but a good word of Lord Bedveer. I trust your Lord bodes well.
He holds
He
well.
does.
Good. And the favour of King Mark as well, to send his men on such quests.
Indeed.
Here we are. The hall.
Thank you, Galvins.
And thank you, Brendan, Emrys. It is a welcome thing to lay one's burdens on strangers. One's welcome, or one's willing to take up that burden. I appreciate. Should you have time before, I'd share a cup with you.
Hopefully we will see each other again then.
Good. Then, good day. Good day, Emrys. Good day, Marcus.
Thank you.
Marcus kind of nods. One of the guards at the gate would, he's not guarding the gate, but one of the guards who would be kind of standing around, one of the men-at-arms, I guess, in the Lord's Hall would come over, and he'll probably take Duffy into custody for you. Marcus may say, a gesture to for you to come and speak to him before you all go in to speak to Lord Reagan. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Marcus calls you back, and he says, I intend to offer to Lord Reagan to see to those bodies of those unfortunates, that they are returned here and set to where these people would see their kin rest. And I may linger for at least a day to see what can be done here. But you have a task before you as well.
We do. Is there anything we can do to help you before we leave tomorrow?
I think not, but while the task is pressing, the spirits brought word to me in due time. It brought me to you in due time. The king has also charged that you do what you can to make these lands better, to cast back the shadow. Trust that the spirits will move in due time with you as well, should you deem that you need Terry as well.
I wondered if we needed to, in the absence of a druid here, we could perhaps, Emrys, go get some healing herbs from the surrounding countryside to leave with Marcus. I can maybe rustle something up of my own.
And I know that Galvin did not see him, but I saw your spy as well. There is intrigues that take place here as well.
I'm sure. But at the end of the day, for now, it seems that curing the flux is the right thing to do.
Indeed.
Irrespective of infighting.
Indeed. The people seem most to suffer. make my apologies to the Lord. If I am not mistaken, Varden should have an initiate. I would speak to his pupil and see what has transpired and what can be done. If you deign to find us herbs to assist, then perhaps we should see what we have to work with here.
Very good. Let us do that.
So he'll depart to go and find that. We're 2 hours into the session already, so why don't we take our mid-session break now, and then we'll come back and see what happens next. Oh, for those listening at home too, if you're listening to this, we started late because we were sorting out some rules stuff that we wanted to clarify before we started the session. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. All right, and I remembered to unmute myself. Hey, Wayne, ATHX. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday. We're staying warm wherever you are as well. All right. All right. Let's see. Oh, I'm not sure if anyone is back yet, but your cameras are all off. At least they are for me. In the event that you are back. I think I loaded an image that I thought I did. That is unfortunate. Waiting for the werewolves. Yep, the wolves are a-coming. Yeah, THX. We'll have to see what comes of the wolves of Gwig. Hey. Your green bar is your action points, right, James?
Yes.
Okay, so you can fill that up again if you like. The luck won't come back of the session, but the AP will for sure. So then, the two of you are standing outside the hall of Lord Reagan. Duffy has been taken into custody by one of his, or at least someone has taken charge of him. Do you guys want to discuss how to approach Lord Reagan, or you just want to go in and see how things go?
Brandon, you probably have more experience with these sort of things. We're just, in theory, here to pass through, right?
Yep.
That we may wish to offer help, and like gathering herbs and such, but we don't have business here as such, right?
Exactly. So I think we should just say that, well, we wouldn't want to impose upon them. We thought we might be able to help Marcus in trying to heal the people of the town.
Okay. So then you guys, when you are ready, are brought in before Lord Reagan. And Lord Reagan is probably, he's older than what Lord Bedweir is, but probably not by much. So he's a younger fella as well. And when you are introduced to him, he does seem kind of owly, I guess would be the way. He doesn't seem pleased that there are travelers, coming through. But he seems even less pleased when he hears what Duffy has been brought here for. So he gestures for you to come forward and says, and you can picture, there's the long table that would be making up much of this hall, and he's not standing on ceremony. He would be standing and walking over towards you with his guards, and he says, "So you have come from Lord Bedweir? Then you're Lord Bedweir's men."
We are indeed.
True, my lord.
I'm Lord Reagan, Lord of Treveru. You accuse this man of killing those who were afflicted with the flux, then?
I do, my lord. He feels that he was doing nothing but hastening their passing, but each of them, men, women, and children, are killed by the sword, not by the sickness. And he shows no repentance for what he did. But I leave it to you, my lord, what you feel is correct for him.
It turns to you, Emrys. Are you a Christian as well, boy?
No, I am not, my lord. I hold with the old ways. But I have also witnessed what Brendan has witnessed, and I back up the accusation.
You have a priest and a freeman speaking against you, Duffy. What have you to say? And I'm going to spare you the same argument he puts forward once again. And he says, no. None. There is no man who can tell the outcome of this flux. You killed those. Would you each give us... I'm trying to think what this skill would be. Give us an insight check, please, each of you. At, let's say, average. Who's a little inscrutable. But what his demeanor has not changed from the sort of perturbed presentation that he had when you first met him. And he turns to Duffy and he says, by my right as Lord of Treveru, I judge you, and your sentence will be death. And Duffy is like, no, and tries to contest it. He waves his men to take him away, and so he is done. He turns to each of you and says, I take no pleasure in sending our people out so far from where comfort could offer them. Comfort could be administered to them, but we cannot have... This cuts through our people. I hope you...
I can understand that, my lord, and I believe you have set up somewhere for them to shelter outside the town walls, so...
There's a bit of a flush that comes out, and he says, you speak of my cousin. He has... And he looks kind of glaringly at your cross, and then back up at you. Those of your faith, your church, have come to support my cousin in administering that.
Ah, then I misunderstood, my lord. I thought there's some facility of your own. Is that something that might be done?
Our druid was the first taken by this pass of the flux.
Well, we were accompanying a good druid by the name of Macus. And he has gone to look for the apprentice of your own.
His eyes kind of twinkle, and he says, who serves at King Mark's court?
Indeed.
He is with you. And he kind of looks around. Does he not present himself before me?
He asked us to give his apologies to you, but he wished to go and get working with the apprentice of your druid to see what may be done to help in your city. He wishes to tarry to see what he can do to help. And he has suggested to us, and we tend to agree, if there's anything we can do to maybe help set up some healing or to assist here.
He looks a bit gobsmacked. I beg your forgiveness. Hard times can twist the way that we view strangers. And strangers you are, Brendan and Emrys. I forget that there are many good and loyal Christians in our... There are those in Treveru who would see us divided by faith when we have worked in concert and lived together for as long as your Eastern God has come to these shores. Please accept my sincerest apology.
There's no apology needed, my lord.
He says, please, come. You are welcome as guests of my hall, and your offer of assistance is most assuredly we will gratefully accept. And he'll sort of bring you in. If anything you want to, we don't need to roleplay the whole thing through, but if you guys have any questions or any things you want to learn from him, he does seem much more inclined to talk about the circumstances in Treveru now. And he can even, there are someone similar to what your role was, Emrys. There's someone who's a hunter or something like that who would be able to know sort of the wild places around here, would be able to give you some tips for where you might find some of those herbs.
Let's do that. And also, I guess to ask more as to, was there anything unusual when this started? Because we understood that the druid had not been abroad. Had there been many visitors?
Brendan, give us another insight check, please. And I'm going to make a roll for something.
Ugh.
So this is going to be an opposed roll, which means either lowest failure or highest success. That could be improved with a luck, if you choose.
Okay, let's...
Because you're not far off from beating me.
Insight.
Emrys.
Of course.
You can try as well, if you'd like.
It's I'm not used to high halls and politics and reading important men.
That's also not terribly far off from potentially beating me, if you want to luck that.
I haven't used luck yet. That's good for it. Come on, by the old gods.
The old gods are asleep. All right. So he sits down and he says the sickness of the sickness that came upon us came very quickly, and in a cruel twist of fate, claimed old Varden first. Some speak
remarkable and terrible.
the White Dragon stalks these lands. There are many misfortunes that are visited. To the south, there is an ogre that hunts near Conbray.
Is that so?
Aye. Many dark things. Kurnow is no land for children.
Has he heard of the flux spreading anywhere else or being anywhere else?
I have
just
not.
Treveru.
No. Not since... No. And it spread so quickly among our kind. Indeed. I do not what's the word I would use here? I do not curry favor with your god. But some say he views me poorly by the number of those who remain, like me, aligned with the old ways, than those who pray to your god and ally with my cousin. They seem less seriously afflicted and for less time. Perhaps a shine of mercy by your god upon those who pray to him.
Maybe, my lord, but I do not profess to know what my lord believes. Perhaps it is his favor can be gained by how we can treat your people. That is something he may look kindly upon, no matter what your beliefs.
I've heard.
If you have maybe some shelter outside the walls where we could try and treat any who become sick or come to the city without letting them inside your walls.
If that is what you propose, we could. I think it possible we could repurpose something outside, so they need not travel so far. I hope to make an example of Duffy, such that his kind would not prey upon those I am forced to exile, but keeping them closer. That would be the right thing to do as well.
And if they do not have to seek shelter with your cousin, but receive shelter from yourself, I can't help but feel that will reflect well on your lordship.
You're a curious man for a Christian. I would have thought you would have welcomed those who are driven to your God, regardless of the circumstances.
I think if I seek to look after the people, they will find their own way.
I will take your counsel, and we will see it done. So tell me, can you say what task it is your king has put upon you? What business it is that brings you through our... If you cannot say...
Emrys is the one who's leading us. Maybe he can describe it best.
We are tasked with traveling to follow up on omens Macus the Druid has received in dreams.
Indeed. A quest.
So it would seem, yes.
Marcus.
A quest involving a druid and a priest, no less.
Indeed. But I fear it will bring us, you've mentioned this ogre. Oh, I fear it might be on our path.
Duffy says you slew 3 of his men before he could scarcely draw a blade. Is that true?
We had the element of surprise, but yes, it is true.
There is said to be an ogre along the way to Carnbray. The fields and flocks of Strathian are poorly preyed upon by them, and Lord Khan of Carnbray, it's said, has yet to find one among his number to see an end to this ogre. Have you faced such a thing before?
No,
And I have not, no.
not myself.
I think not since the Age of Heroes have we seen or heard of such things walking the lands. The White Dragon brings much misfortune in its wake. Perhaps this dream will be something to help stir the Red Dragon, that we might quiet the White Dragon and bring some measure of peace to these lands.
I shall pray on that tonight, my lord.
Would you each give us a D20 roll, please? Yeah,
nice.
20. Beautiful.
I'm sure in a roll low game, that will be nothing but good.
Thunderstorms. Thunderstorms all the way down.
So, as the day gets longer, there is a for a place this size, Lord Reagan has a much smaller retinue than what you would expect. Whether that's by virtue of the split alignment within the city, whether it's due to sickness or not, it is a relatively intimate, I guess would be a generous way of putting it, affair for your welcome. But he does provide you a feast, in which gives you an opportunity to talk not only to him, but to some others that are in here. And there are two rumors that you guys each hear over the course of this. What Emrys will go from low to high. What you ask for is whether Macus is, or you hear, someone wants to know whether Macus's presence here and this king's quest that you are being sent on is part of this druid plan to bring together all the treasures of Britain. The cauldron, the chariot, the sword, all of them. To unite the tribes and drive the Saxons and the Irish from the shores of Britain. If you say yes or no, or do you affirm any of that, or is this...
No, I think Emrys will give an honest answer and say that he cannot speak to the plans of druids. All he knows is that we've been tasked with this quest. The mind of Macus is his own. So I guess he'll neither definitively say no nor say yes, but he'll just say that. As far as he knows, no idea.
And the rumor you hear, Brendan, is that a friend of one of these guys in Treveru. Treveru is near the coast. What they say is that one of the clans south of here, so south of Condre, they say that Saxon ships have been seen off the coast. And they are curious if your quest is to deal with Saxons who may have a eye on Carrick Losen Coast, or indeed the south of Kurnow.
I think I would say similarly. Not this. Well, I had not heard of Saxon ships off the coast. It's troubling.
Adamant's. The guy's he's adamant. His cousin told him. Dragon-headed ships.
It's a terrible sign. Worrying.
Later in the evening, Macus does arrive. As you can tell, this is, you know, it's not a physique that can be maintained without participating in some feasting when available. So he would come, and if you guys bring him up to date on, you know, the results, he would say we'd welcome it. Like the stores are poorly depleted. Whatever Varden was doing before, it seems like they were sorely pressed to keep up with they're sorely pressed beforehand, and so he sort of let the stocks of herbs and the things he would use for his medicines to really run low. But he says he heard a curious, perhaps unsurprisingly, there are some among the initiates who certainly blame Sheridan for the misfortune that has befallen not only the city or the community of Treveru, but in particular the taking of the life of the druid. What they say is that he died the first night after Sheridan returned from traveling north. It is unusual, obviously, for anyone who's not a merchant to be traveling in these times, unless you're marching to war or under the, you know, the auspices of whatever your office is. Sheridan returned with these Christians, and that night is when the flux took him. They think that not to be a coincidence.
So the Christian priest arrived on the same day as well.
He did. The one who runs the hostel now, for those who are sick near the creek. Supervised by Sheridan. He returned with him that evening. The flux took Varden, and they would tell you as well, like they're doing their best to try and help out too, but their training was not complete, so they were operating under imperfect training. Macus is helping to supplement that to a degree to correct sort of the errors they had from their inexperience. But what they've also said is in their ministering to the others, the sickness took Varden faster and more aggressively than any. He went to bed healthy, woke up dying, and was gone before the height of the sun the following day. Faster than any others.
Yeah, remarkable indeed. I had thought that Christian priestess may become after the flux had started to try and help.
A unusual coincidence.
Indeed.
They are quite certain that there is Christian magic to blame for what has befallen their former master. And it seems there are some as well who fear this Christian priest. But there are the many who find succor with him and this priest's efforts to slow the spread among those who venerate the cross. They are spared the worst of this illness. I feel, Brendan, that there is more than resentment at play here.
It is indeed most troubling. Perhaps, though our approach is not a bad one. Let us see what we can do here. To the lure of setting up something for this city, for the Lord Regan, and see if our efforts can slow it as well. But let us see how Sheridan and his priest react.
Just quickly checking. I think what Marcus is going to suggest is, for one, he will be taking steps to effectively ward himself. He'll be communing with beneficial spirits to guard him, spirits of health. You should pray for the same.
Indeed, and please look after Emrys as well, for he has not found the true way yet.
I think because it's quite late as well. Emrys, I have not the time, nor with so many afflicted by this illness, to ward this hall and you. It may be wise for you to sleep not here this evening, but among the druids and I, and benefit from our warding.
Old ways have yet to lead me astray. I will happily take up that invitation, Marcus.
Good. Then, what do you make of Lord Regan?
More hopeful than I'd thought.
Your offer to assist, I take it, was well received?
It was. He took it well, that he should not leave it to his cousin Sheridan to look after the sick, but we take some of it on outside his own walls. I do believe that he wishes the best for his people and doesn't, and regrets their illness, and he's shown that he wishes to support this. He is going to repurpose some buildings outside. We can try and treat anyone who gets sick inside the city or who comes from outside.
Plague house. Huh. That... You should know. I think had Varden survived, he would have been well equipped to confront this crisis. His initiates were far too early in their studies to offer any meaningful assistance in the face of such a thing. They will be of value in servicing those who the Lord permits us to treat, but they know little more than you or the Lord would in treating such things. Truly, I think the Lord Reagan may have been faced with dealing the best he could in a state of complete ignorance.
Indeed, and that is therefore what you and I must help with, Marcus.
Indeed. Then, let your God...
sent here with a purpose.
And our spirits... so let your God and my magic see us through to the dawn then, and see about assisting these people.
Indeed.
And what of you, Emrys? What do you think of the thriving city of Trevero?
That's not what I expected. But then I have not met it at its best, I assume. Nowhere stricken by the flux will look at its best, no doubt. So. I expected maybe more grandeur, more, just more, but...
Wait till you see Carnbray, boy. Then, perhaps, well, he'll sort of excuse himself and he'll have to spend some time with the Lord, I guess, and talk to some of the other people in the hall. Though, again, it's really not all that busy. Anything you two wish to do before you sit down for the evening? Anyone else you wish to speak to?
I think as Macus has left, Amaris will turn to Brandon and just ask. I mean, I don't know your ways particularly well, but obviously this accusation of the initiates that your priests might have, that the timing is so fortunate/unfortunate, depending on how you look at it. Can your priests call down sickness on someone like Varden?
It strikes me as not something that would be sanctioned under any teachings that I've heard of. I would like to think it is unfortunate coincidence. But it must not let us be distracted from doing what we should do here. Whatever the most unfortunate loss of Varden, we must do our best to ameliorate it.
Yes, it did strike me as not being in keeping with your teachings from what little I have heard of them.
Exactly.
I guess it would have made more sense to strike down Sherrod to strike down Reagan.
Exactly. But I think we shall maybe get a chance to speak to these at some point.
Yeah.
But we should not tarry.
Then, Brendan, would you give us what is it? Not devotion. It's not evocation. What is it again?
Exhort.
Exhort. Thank you very much. If you could give us an exhortation or exhort roll, please.
I've got almost no chance of this working. You see? I'll use my last luck.
Okay.
When the dice are cold, the dice are cold.
Okay. So then, you were able to bed down Brendan in the long hall, and I think it might have loaded. Hold up, guys. I might have a image for you as well of the long hall. Oh, maybe I didn't load it. Shoot. All right. All right. Nice. But Emrys, you were brought down to one of the towns. I brought it back here just because of the temperature thing. I think was just setting the wrong. I don't want us to lose track of what the actual time of year is. So I brought you back until I find another illustration that we were going to use. Everything's going to look a lot like Treveru, or no, it's like Thessalian from it. Brendan, tell us about what your prayers are before you bed down for the evening.
Sorry, Brendan.
Yeah.
Oh, that the town and its people should be spared any more afflictions from this day forth, and that'll be the prayer.
Okay. To your saint once again.
Yes, Saint Wenna, because she is the saint of healing, a saint of healing.
Okay. So then, why don't you give us one more exhort check and make sure to tick off your passion to. It's not called inspire. What is it called when you're influencing it? Is it just influence?
Augmentation.
Augment. Yeah.
So, I will do it from. Is that devotion or my Christian law?
Be one of your passions.
Oh, my passion. Indeed. Yeah. Okay.
If there's a passion.
Love God, I guess. Okay, let me just clear that. And try that again.
Yeah, love of
God.
That's
it. And then I actually roll. So then I roll exhort again.
Yes, please.
With that on it. There you are, that's more like it.
There we go. Okay. All right. Then. Emrys, you were going to bed with in an unfamiliar, area with a bit cramped. You see that Macus would, or a bit of a cramped area where basically the initiates all sleep as well, and Macus invokes a ritual with the assistance of some of the initiates to call upon a spirit to keep them safe at night.
As he has 10 siblings, I'm sure he's used to cramped quarters.
Oh, fair, yeah, fair dues. That's totally true. It is, I think, it is absolutely black in the hall, other than the last embers that are burning in sort of the central fire. When you awaken, but it isn't your sight that awakens you. It is the sound of buzzing flies. And it sounds like hundreds, if not thousands of them groaning. when you open your eyes, you are lying on a cot or something that is laid out, or a sleeping pad. The buzzing seems almost omnipresent. Something you've maybe heard before when you've come across like the carcass of an animal when you've traveled, and it is just rife with corruption and with the buzzing of insects. You can almost hear as well the sickly crawling of maggots in corrupted flesh, and the stink of an abattoir fills your nostrils. Your eyes are wide. Give us a perception check, please. Unsurprisingly, you're unable to see anything in this darkness. But there is something there. And something pressing. Would you give us a devotion check, please?
I don't think I have devotion.
Oh, sorry, Brendan, not Emrys.
Oh, me, sorry.
Yeah, Brendan.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is all, sorry. I'm setting Emrys down to sleep. Brendan, you're the one who was awakened by all this.
Okay.
Oh, and Emrys, and sorry,
so
Emrys.
Brendan should make the perception check.
Yeah, Brendan, forgive me, wrong name. Sorry.
So me with the perception check.
Yes,
okay,
please.
Let's go with that. There you go.
Okay. You think in the dying light in the hall, you can see a slight, like, there is the light being caught on hundreds of wings of insects that they stand near you next to the remnants of the pit, of the fire pit. And it is the red glow of them that lets you see a rough approximation of the form of a man. But the droning is so loud, you cannot fathom how others cannot have heard this in here. And Brendan, would you give us a devotion roll, please, at average?
Oh.
There is
So close.
a feeling, a fever that cuts through you, Brendan. And you lose 5 magic points. What do you do?
I guess I'll stagger to my feet and say, get away, foul spirit. You are clearly unholy spirit of disease and pestilence. Get out. And I'll grab at my wooden cross and hold it in front of me.
Go ahead and give us an exhort check at standard, please. Ooh. Nice. You succeeded. Go ahead and roll damage. Oh. Okay. So this thing, you can feel that your prayers have struck this, but not so much that you feel that you are on the upper hand in this struggle.
Encouraging I can hurt it, though. Clearly, it is.
This thing buzzes.
A work of Satan.
And it speaks something somehow. The droning pitches and undulates in a way that it forms words, though you can tell there are no lips, there is no voice, but the sound of this unholy thing speaks words. And you know that these words are from a very distant land, and even in that far-off land have not been spoken for millennia. Go ahead and give us a devotion check once again. Oh, so, I get a special effect then. Why don't you tell us what it's like as this hits you? First off, let me roll effect. Another 4 magic points you take. And then tell us what it's like that causes you to be psychically stunned. You're going to lose your next turn.
I guess it's probably more of the flies come out and crawl over me.
Oh, yeah. You can feel them landing on you. You do still benefit from the pulp thing. You'll net 1 extra action point from this, so you're going to have 1 more. He will attack you and you'll defend, but you will still net 1 extra one.
Okay.
He is attacking you once again, though. Go ahead and give us a devotion. Oh, no. Fortunately, this was a mutual failure situation, so you are both sort of staggering in this. You have 1 last uncontested action from him, or from it. What do you do?
I will, again, try and step forward, cross in front of me to push him up. Is that exhort, or?
That's exhort, yeah. Oh.
Yes, that's more like it.
Nice. Unfortunately, I did roll a crit.
Oh.
I rolled a 2. I'm so sorry. Which means it's only 1 degree of difference, so he succeeds, not a crit. A defensive one. Hold on. What does this one do? Holy shit. You are in the defense of this. I think you're trying to make it a very clear pronunciation of like driving this thing off. And as you're about to complete your sentence, one of these things clearly is like a horsefly, and it bites and draws blood. So your voice catches at surprise of this, and it inflicts a psychic wound. You are bleeding 1 magic point per turn. Oh, per cycle. Yeah. But you have 1 last action here, Brendan. Well, that was your exhort, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know what? I forgot. Ignore that. Ignore that completely, because you had 1 extra action. I didn't have enough action points to defend. Right. So exactly. So, yeah. So then give us a damage roll. What do you get?
Come on, high for once. Ugh.
Okay. The next round, more of these things are landing on you. It is going to be acting first. Go ahead and give us a devotion. Oh, so in spite of you can feel the heat at your temple, and you can see that this thing is coalescing seemingly more into the form. It's not a man, because there is something debased and wrong about the shape of this thing. But you are holding your faith strong. It does not affect you this round. What would you like to do?
Again, get back, beast.
Nice.
Nice.
Both succeeded. It did not. Oh. It is holding strong against you. Go ahead and give us a devotion. You succeeded. I failed. Do you wish to make it lose a turn?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So it's, what do you say? What's the thing that causes it?
Just scream, out, pestilence.
Okay. And then you have an action again.
Let's exhaust it. Ugh.
I critically failed. So you succeeded by 1.
Oh.
Go ahead and roll damage again.
Okay. Up arrow just got me a lot of very weird texts. Okay, it's taken a while to clear this out. That's quite a macro that's in there.
For each of the rolls.
Oh yeah, it's pages of it. Come on, a big one.
Okay, what do you think it is that's affecting your will here?
Flies in my mouth.
All right, and Net, now you will have 1 action, and it will be undefended if you wish to. Oh no, it will be defend. Lose 1 action. Yeah, you'll. This one will be defended. Next one will not be.
Okay, let's see. Come on. Oh, just.
Hey, that is going to be once again a tie, but then you have 1 more. There you go. Go ahead and give us... Oh, you did not call on your god yet, did you?
No, that's true.
Yeah, because passions could play into this. But go ahead and give us a... Damn it. Come on.
Go on, if I can ever... it does say D8, right?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
It's nice of you to borrow Jeff's dice, though. So that's good. All right, top of the next round. This thing is going to play...
To be fair, I did get a 3 once.
Yeah. So you're getting close to the halfway point. Go ahead and give us a devotion check once again. I actually failed.
So do you say I could augment, or...?
Yeah, if you want to call on God, augment with your God passion.
Indeed, my lord. Give me strength to drive this creature out. Devotion, sorry.
Yes, please.
Yes.
That is a success, so you can make it lose another action. Your faith is staggering this thing back. While it is obviously not a man, it does reel from the power of your faith. You wish to exhort once again?
1 more exhort. Come on.
Come on.
There you go. I rolled 71, so I failed.
Come on. There's a D8.
Come on, D8.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
The Lord answered my prayers.
Beautiful.
There is actually a small flash of light. Brilliant. Like the welcoming light of dawn. That fills this room. And finally, the droning is gone. And yet you still see blood from that horsefly's bite on your hand. You're once again in the darkness, in the quiet of the Lord's Hall. And I guess that's where we'll have to leave things for 2 weeks. So, first off, you guys each get 3 experience rolls. Did anyone critically or fumble today?
I fumbled some damage rolls. Does that count?
Unfortunately not, no. But if not, then you guys go ahead and make your experience rolls if you'd like. Nice. Devotion only up by 1. That's something at least.
Yeah, where does... No, I can't. Improve, I've got to change the way it looks. Oh, look at that.
Whoa.
Nice.
You don't have... Oh, you know what? You may still have your augment on...
Oh, I've still got that augment on. Okay.
Yeah. But that's okay. If we back the augment out, you still rolled a 96. So, like, that's still going to be a success.
And what was the other one I was going to do? I was going to do...
A nice Emrys.
So learning something from the politics.
Very nice. Why is it adding 16 to yours, Brendan?
I have no idea.
Did you turn
I've
the...
got my augment set to 0.
Okay. Did you click out of the augment by any chance?
Oh. Well, it's... Yeah,
Doesn't make a difference. I think that roll shows an 89 is better than 44. So the net result is the same, but just it's worth remembering that...
16 wasn't my augment in the first place.
Go ahead. So if you've clicked out of it, try clicking on it again. See, I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, because it's adding plus 13 to Emrys's as well.
Yeah, must be something in the improve rules, mechanics rules or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't have... There's a way of...
Yeah, it's added 13 to all of mine.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. That's weird. And it's just a flat number to each of them, too. Huh.
Oh, that's the thing I needed. Right.
Okay, well, in any event, I mean, I think those were all still accurate to the, you rolled successes on the ones that you rolled successes on, because 60 is higher than 26, 98 is higher than 62, so yeah, like whether or not you rolled successes on each of those is still correct, but it's worth something. We'll maybe take a look at that after the session, but in any event, great stuff. That's like mostly successes for everything.
We get a bonus one from our...
that is at the end. End of an adventure is where you get that one.
End of an adventure.
Yeah. So at least that's what it says. I should take a look though, because like that's the whole. That's why you don't dump that particular stat apart from the class modifiers. So let me. I'll take a look at that again. But from the way that they phrased it in the book, it did seem to be at the end of the adventure as opposed to the what you should be awarding each session. But I'll take a look, because I think Emrys, you're the one who benefits from that most. I'm not sure anyone else has a bonus to experience rolls. But in any event, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for chapter 3 of the Wolves of Gwig. You have a question, James?
I think you maybe get a bonus for your intelligence when doing the...
Oh, maybe.
Because, well, I'll just guess that because my intelligence is 16.
Mine is 13.
That would make sense, yeah. So let's see here. The experience rolls was in the 70s.
Morven adds 12. So I guess it's Morven's intelligence, 12.
Yeah, intelligence is added to the roll. Yeah, it is. That's what it is. Page 72 of the core book. Awesome. I really love these sheets. It's rare that you can be like, okay, it's not the sheet that's fucking up. It's I've missed something here. So that's great. Cool. Okay, cool. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for Chapter 3. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the game, or the campaign we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have channels dedicated to most of the games we run on the channel, as well as things like Find a Group, GM discussion, virtual tabletop chat. There's a terrific, helpful, knowledgeable, and friendly community over there. You're more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an incredible selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. like, for instance, any other older RPGs based on Arthurian myths. If they don't have something in stock that you're looking for, and you can put it on a want list, and they'll send you an email when it comes in. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code NobleDM, all caps, all one word. It'll save you 10% on any purchase of $10 or more through their website. That'll be good until March 15, 2026. If you're listening to this after that time, just come back to one of our more recent videos, and we'll have the current discount code listed there. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart Britons. So, David and James, thank you so much for playing today, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, thanks.
And I am so sorry for the infection that Brendan is about to, take from the bug bite. You guys have Mercurochrome in Mythic Britain, right? So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time, but until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that are besetting Britain as the White Dragon runs rampant across these fair lands. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.